You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Do you need a car? Been shopping only to be turned down because of bad credit, low credit, no credit, bankruptcy, or divorce? Guess what? Today's your lucky day, because now you can buy a car, truck, or SUV, just about any vehicle. It's true. Bad credit doesn't matter. No credit doesn't matter. Bankruptcy or divorce, it just doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, your job is your ticket to your new vehicle. We're Auto Credit Express, and we've helped thousands of people just like you. Antonio H. told us, great company, got me connected, and the day I went in, I drove off in the car I wanted. 100% worth your time. Need a car? Get started now and drive off as early as today. Just text FINANCE, FINANCE, to 357-911 right now to get started. That's FINANCE, FINANCE, to 357-911. Auto financing the easy way. Text FINANCE to 357-911.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
We believe in the American way, and we built this country called the USA, and we fly our flag because we're proud and free, we're Americans. Red, white, and blue is our way of life. We never back down from a challenge or a fight. Nature provides, God gives the rights, we're Americans. We fish the waters and we hunt the lands. We forge the steel with our own two hands. With what we've got, we do the best we can, we're Americans.
This is Rio of Madison Rising, and you're listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
It's time now for the Conservative Curmudgeon Radio Show. Now, here's Grouchy.
Good evening, everybody. Great to be back with you. It is a fantastic Wednesday night here at KLRN Radio. You are here for the trifecta of conservative talk on internet radio. Following me tonight, my friend Polita Bunny, along with Ordy. Yes, she has found Ordy and rescued him from the donkey farm. They will be together for FUBAR tonight following me. And then a little later in the evening, Rowdy Rick with America Off the Rails. You can't go wrong. Do yourself a favor. Hunker down. What's that?
That's a negatory, sir. My show is now on 8 Eastern, or 9 Eastern every night but Wednesday. So.
Oh, every night but Wednesday.
Yeah, so it's you, then Foo, and then a break, and then Jess's POV moved into my old time slot. Because if everything comes together the way I'm hoping, I'll eventually be moving back to 70 if I get the other gig that I'm trying for, since I'll be working earlier in the day.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, there you have the lineup, folks. That's how it is. So, normally we bounce around the world and we talk about other things that are making the news that I'm not going to be talking about. But since everything that's in the news that is worth talking about is in my notes tonight, we won't be doing that because it has been a kind of a slow news cycle. I did have a couple of things that have erupted kind of last minute. Normally I put the show together a few days in advance, so you have to forgive me for being a little bit ill-prepared for some of this. But I wanted to talk about last night's primaries, particularly Florida's primaries, where Ron DeSantis took the Republican nomination for governor in the state of Florida, and was basically crucified and for using a phrase, a perfectly innocent phrase that the media tried to frame as racism regarding his opponent, when he didn't even use the phrase in regards to his opponent as a person, only his opponent's agenda items. So here's my bone to pick. We've got the media just, you can turn on every Sunday morning show out there and you can hear them screech, and day after day, these morning Joes and people like that screeching about how we're not enemies of the people and we're just journalists trying to deliver news, and that's all we do, and it's all fair and it's all unbiased and it's all bullshit. Okay? You don't take somebody's phrase and muddle it with something he didn't say and make that your headline. That's not news. That's not honesty. That's not journalistic integrity. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Republican nominee for governor in Florida, Ron DeSantis, made the comment after winning the primary that Florida voters shouldn't monkey this up and vote for higher taxes and more regulation. Those were his words. What was printed in the papers is that DeSantis said, "Don't monkey this up and vote for a black governor." You see how it's a little disingenuous, even more than a little? It's not even. It's beyond ridiculous. And what's so absurd is that these people just absolutely refuse to admit that they have a bias. You know, I get it. I don't watch a lot of Fox News. If I know that somebody that I'm interested in listening to is going to be on as a guest, I will put the program on, and I'll turn it when their segment is over. I just don't watch a whole lot of it, but at least Fox News admits that they lean right. You can't get that kind of admission out of MSNBC or out of CNN. You just can't. They refuse to admit it. They think that you and I are too stupid to realize the difference. And then you got these shirtless morons, the Katzenjammer brothers, or whatever the hell their names are. They have some little online publication thing that they do. I don't even know what the name of it is. I know they use the word Hill in it because they tried to copy The Hill, because they thought they were smart that way, but they're really not. And they're publishing the same kind of crap too. So let me tell you, just as always, do your own homework. I'm not telling you not to read these headlines and these articles where they're trying to lambaste DeSantis as a racist. You need to know what the other side is saying. But you also need to know what they're trying to tell you and how they're trying to tell you. You can't go into it blindly, but do your own homework. Don't take my word for it. Don't take your husband's word for it. Don't take your wife's word for it. Don't take your kid's word for it. Do it yourself. Put that brain to work. You might get a little smoke out of your ears, but that's okay. That's okay. It happens to me too. It's not a bad thing. So anyway, I wanted to get that off my chest before we got rolling real good tonight. So the big thing that I wanted to hit on tonight is the Trump administration and Mexico have reached a preliminary accord to end the North American Free Trade Agreement, or NAFTA, and replace it with a deal that the administration says will be more favorable to the United States. President Trump, in announcing the tentative agreement on Monday at the White House, said a new deal would be called the United States-Mexico Trade Agreement. And Trump has frequently condemned the 24-year-old NAFTA trade pact as a job-killing disaster for the United States. So, still, any new agreement is, we're still far from a final agreement, but it's something that's being pushed and worked on. The administration still needs to negotiate with the third partner in NAFTA, Canada, to get them into the deal. When this article referencing all this was written, it was saying that it was unclear whether any new trade agreement with Mexico would be possible. Well, Mexico made it very clear that whether Canada jumped in or not, they were pushing ahead with this. That's just the bottom line now. So Canada would be the odd man out if they don't. But now word has come out saying that Canada wants in now. Maybe not the same agreement, but they want in to negotiate. And that's exactly what Trump said that he wanted to do. He wanted to negotiate fairly with Canada. And that makes sense because they are our number 2 trading partner in the world. So Trump put pressure on Canada by threatening to tax Canadian auto imports and to leave Canada out of a new regional trade bloc. Now, Canada retaliates with, threatening tariffs and things of that nature. NAFTA reduced most trade barriers between the 3 countries, but Trump and other critics say it encouraged U.S. manufacturers to move south of the border to exploit low-wage Mexican labor. Now, talks to overhaul the agreement began as much as a year ago and have proved contentious. U.S. and Mexican negotiators worked over the weekend to narrow their differences. The Office of U.S. Trade Representative said Monday that Mexico had agreed to ensure that 75% of automotive content being produced within the trade bloc, up from the current 62.5%, to receive free duty benefits, and that 40 to 45% be made by workers earning at least $16 an hour. Now, again, it remained unclear as of Monday where the announcement leaves Canada, but Monday night, Canada is saying that they are interested now in jumping into this negotiation. Now, that doesn't mean a deal's done, but they're interested in talking deal now. Adam Austin, a spokesman for the Canadian Foreign Minister, Chrystia Freeland, said Canada is encouraged by the continued optimism shown by our negotiating partners. Progress between Mexico and the United States is a necessary requirement for any renewed NAFTA agreement. Austin and the Canadians had been in regular contact with NAFTA negotiators. It says we will only sign a new NAFTA that is good for Canada and good for the middle class, adding that Canada's signature is required. The number 2 Senate Republican John Cornyn of Texas hailed the positive step, but said Canada needs to be a party to a final deal. A trilateral agreement is the best path forward, he said, adding that millions of jobs are at stake. And he's absolutely right. There are millions of jobs at stake. What we want to do is we want to bring some of those jobs back to the United States. And that's what President Trump's been all about all along. And we're seeing it. You see it in the economy. Look, GDP over 4% last quarter. They're saying we're going to go 4.3, maybe as high as 4.6 this quarter. That's the expectation, somewhere in that neighborhood. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that when President Obama was still in office, back during the campaign period, when he said that there was no way that Donald Trump could deliver a 4% GDP growth because in this world economy, it was impossible anymore, and that there was no way he could just wave a magic wand and bring us to 4% GDP. Well, it doesn't take a magic wand, President Obama. What it takes is a little bit of work and a little bit of pride in America and, a little deregulation and a little bit of making people excited about the economy via tax cuts and corporations with tax cuts offering pay raises and bonuses. You get the economy jump-started, and it does magical things all by itself after that. This is what we have been doing in this country for the last 18 months, roughly. It doesn't take a genius to see it. But speaking of geniuses, there was one on Sunday morning television. He's such a, to steal a phrase from Mark Levin, he's such a back row Democrat that I don't even remember his name. But they basically asked him what the Democrats' agenda would be if they won the House in the midterms. And there's a very real chance they can win the House. you shouldn't look at it as a disaster. It's actually very typical that in the midterm of a presidency, the House swings the other way. But what he was broadcasting as their agenda is that they were going to hold President Trump accountable. This is their agenda. He wants his tax returns still. Does anybody care about tax returns? I mean, really, let's think about it. We get our GDP going 4+% every quarter. We're rolling it. The stock market is making money hand over fist. The American people are enjoying tax breaks. 80% of the workers in this country are taking home more of the money that they earn because of tax cuts. Corporations are reinvesting money into their employees and into their businesses to make things better here in America. Offshore money is being repatriated, which is only going to serve to bolster more growth in business and the economy. Unemployment is, it's ridiculously low, and not just unemployment, but unemployment for minorities, blacks and Hispanics at historic all-time lows. Do you really think we care about seeing Trump's tax returns from 16 years ago? This is what they want to run on. More to it. You can't even get them. They've been screeching since even before the inauguration about impeaching Trump. But now you can only get the most extreme of them in the Democratic Party to still talk about pushing impeachment, because the grizzled veterans that have a brain, they know that the American people have no real appetite for this. They don't. Are there some that do? Yes, there are some that do. But the last thing that the American people as a whole want is to be dragging through more obstruction investigations. And that's all it's going to be, is one after the other for the next 2 years. Now, that can actually work in Trump's favor come re-election time. He can use that to see, look at what we were doing. Now you put the Democrats in charge of the House and everything halts because they won't do anything I want to do. We have to get them out. I can see how he can spin this and work it in his favor. But the point of the matter is that the left has no agenda. They want open borders, they want Trump's tax returns, and they want higher taxes. That's their agenda. Does that sound like something you want to vote for? You got people out there that claim to be conservative saying that the only thing that would be right for you to do at this point is to go to the polls and vote Democrat. Let me tell you something. That's not a conservative. He can call himself whatever he wants. They can call themselves whatever they want. But if you're out there advocating that Republicans go to the poll and vote Democrat to spite Donald Trump, you're not a conservative. And you're not even really a Republican. More like an idiot. Anyway, okay. Enough of the rambling. We're going to move across the big pond. That's the Atlantic Ocean, for those of you that were never in the military. And we're going to bounce to the Czech Republic. Yeah, Czech Republic. Yeah, and you're thinking to yourself, why? Well, here's why. The Prime Minister of the Czech Republic, Andrej Babis, said on Monday that a comprehensive action plan is necessary to stop illegal migration. And he intends to address this on a visit to Italy and Malta that's going on now. If Italy and Malta won't welcome the migrants, then Spain will. So we're sending the message to migrants that it is possible to come to Europe from Morocco via Spain. Babis wrote in an opinion piece in the Czech broadsheet daily DNES. He said this has to stop. Otherwise, we'll never stop the migrant influx. He's a businessman. He's head of the populist ANO movement over there. He says, I plan to discuss this with EU leaders and take part in implementing a comprehensive action plan. The Czech premier's visit to Italy and Malta will coincide with that of Hungarian counterpart Viktor Orban, who maintains the same hard line on illegal immigration. It's funny, too, because, you get these countries, Czech Republic, Hungary, Poland, they're refusing to take the illegals and just be open borders. And guess what? Their crime rates are staying very low, like they have been. The countries where they're allowing them in, Spain and Germany and Italy and Malta, their crime is going through the roof. Why is that? Well, because you got people that don't want to assimilate. They want to basically terraform. They don't want to come to Europe. They want to convert Europe to be the crap hole that they left. Now, he also said that he wants to discuss the issue with his partners in Italy and Malta, and of course with Germany Chancellor Angela Merkel, who recently negotiated with Spain. He says we need to be cooperating in a serious way to find a solution. We needlessly lost 3 years to an inane debate on migrant quotas. Now, migration has become a very hot political issue in the Czech Republic, and basically, they're an EU and NATO member with 10.6 million people in their country, where just a handful of refugees have settled since the migrant crisis of 2015. Babis reiterated Monday that the Czech Republic would welcome no illegal migrants. It's a key move, a symbol, and a message to migrants that migrant smugglers that it's pointless to take a boat destined for Europe, Babis said. Last month, Babis said Italy's request that EU peers take some 450 migrants stranded at sea was, quote, a road to hell. So this is good to see. Now we're starting to see more and more of these EU member countries say, no, we're not doing this. They have seen the devastation that comes with it in these other countries that have been so flagrantly open borders. And, it's you can't even explain it. You have to see the crime statistics to understand the before and after. So that's, and if it's okay for these European countries to say no, why isn't it okay for us to say no? Why can't we secure our border? Why can't we cut off benefits for illegals?
Because that would be heartless and mean.
Yeah, well, guess what? You know what else is heartless and mean? Taking money out of my pocket to give it to people that don't work for it.
I don't know. If they're taking money out of your pocket to put it in mine, I'm kind of okay with that. Fine.
Well, how much of my money are you getting?
I don't know. How much do you have?
Well, never mind. We can't do that joke on radio.
We could, but we both might get fired tomorrow.
Well, I mean, considering that you're the boss, I don't think that's going to happen. But, whatever. We won't do it anyway because we have class.
I was going to say, please don't say we have standards, because that's a lie.
Well, yeah, I know. We have class, but it is all low. So
Hey,
anyway,
when the bar's so low that you can't even limbo over it, you're doing pretty good. Just saying.
There you go. All right. Well, we're at the bottom of the hour, so we're going to take a little commercial break. Time to run and take care of your business. Get your drink refilled. Get a snack. Tinkle if you got to tinkle, and get your butt back here because we got more to talk about. We'll see you in about 3.
Oh, but ain't that America? You and me. Ain't that America? Something to see, baby. Ain't that America? Home of the free.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
But ain't that America? You and me. Ain't that America? Something to see, baby. Ain't that America? Home of the free, yeah.
All right, welcome back. And we're reverbing here, Rick. I'm getting the echo much better, I think. Yeah, okay, much better. Anyway, programming reminder coming up at the top of the hour. Foo Bar, get your foo on. Then you get a little break, and then you get Jesse's POV. Cool. Wednesday night, KLRN. Sit tight. It's a good one. So, the other thing that's going on big that I wanted to talk about is that there's this little spat going on between our president in between doing important things like the trade deals. He gets involved in some of the dumbest stuff sometimes. And again, in the big picture, it doesn't really matter that much because of what's going on in the big picture. But things like this don't serve him well to get into. He is doubling down on threats against Facebook, Twitter, and Google, saying that the social platforms are treading on very, very troubled territory and they have to be careful. Now, they banter words around like monopoly. Give that a rest, okay? They're not stopping anybody from coming out and trying to compete, so you can't say it's a monopoly. These platforms do a very good job over time at running their users off in their own way. Many of us know the Free Orty campaign that's going on right now. Our friend Orty has been kicked off of Twitter for defending people who were being attacked by hateful, racist people. But the hateful, racist people are still on Twitter. So this is what I'm talking about. They have a good way of thinning themselves out just over time. But the president said Google has really taken advantage of a lot of people, and he thinks it's a very serious thing, and it's a very serious charge. President Trump told reporters after a meeting with the president of FIFA, they better be careful because they can't do that to people. Now, I don't know exactly what he's referring to that they can't do, but if he's just talking about them taking advantage of people, there's no law against exploiting an advantage. As long as you're not breaking laws, you can exploit an advantage. Who cares? That's capitalism. It's not like our president, when he was in business, didn't exploit some advantages. So a Twitter spokesperson, when asked to respond to the president's comments, pointed to previous statements and congressional testimony denying any form of conservative bias on the platform, which we know is a lie. A spokesperson for Facebook did not immediately return requests for comment, and that's largely because they're probably trying to figure out how to lie a little differently than Twitter is. And if you don't believe that Facebook is stifling conservative voices, I can tell you right now that Rowdy Rick, who is producing right now and will have his show on tomorrow night and Friday night, and I both used to be over on Facebook with conservative Facebook pages, and we literally watched them squeeze our throats until we couldn't reach anybody putting out a conservative message. We abandoned Facebook. We came to Twitter because Twitter was cool back then. Well, guess what? Now Jack Dorsey is doing everything he can to screw Twitter into the ground and countersink it with the absolutely biased application of their rules. They can call it whatever they want. Jack is a lying piece of crap. So earlier Tuesday, Trump accused Google of altering search results to prioritize negative coverage and left-leaning outlets, and warned that the issue will be addressed. Now, here's where the president goes off the deep end on some things, okay? And boys and girls, it's okay to tell the president when he's doing something wrong. It really is. You can still be a fan of some of his other work and tell him that he's doing something wrong. Okay? So Earlier Tuesday, he accused Google of altering the search results and prioritizing negative coverage in left-leaning outlets. The president said in a tweet that the tech giant's search engine had been rigged, and the news stories were to show results that were mostly bad stories about him and other conservatives. Now, Google search results for Trump news, and that's in quotes, Trump news, shows only the viewing/reporting of fake new media, the president said. In other words, they have it rigged for me and others so
G, are you still there? Uh-oh. Folks, I think we may have lost G.
You know, he's getting into an area in which he knows very little about. And
yep, we've officially lost G. He was back, now he's gone. Hang on, let me see if I can get him back.
Yo.
Hey, we lost you. You're back. Keep going.
Oh, where did we lose me?
I don't know. You were cutting in and out, then you were gone. So just kind of pick up where you think you left off, because we're live. So go.
Okay. Well, you know, we did have some storms earlier, so there's no telling what's happening up the line. Anyway, let's see. Where did we probably leave off? We probably left off somewhere around Trump saying that Google altering their search results to prioritize negative coverage of him and other conservatives. He's saying that it's rigged for me and others so that almost all the stories are bad. He said fake CNN is prominent. Republican and conservative and fair media is shut out, he said. Illegal. Question. 96% of results on Trump news are from national left-wing media. Very dangerous. Google and others are suppressing voices of conservatives and hiding information and news that is good. They are controlling what we can and cannot see. This is a very serious situation. Will be addressed. That was his tweet. Now let's just stop right there. Okay, will be addressed, which means that he'll want to launch some kind of investigation into this. Does he not understand that he would be trying to investigate 3 of the top tech teams in this country that could hide anything that they were doing in the matter of mere keystrokes? Literally, if they were rigging their search engine, or if they were stifling conservative speech on Facebook and Twitter, it's nothing they can't undo with a new algorithm. And I guarantee you that there was a point in time where they were not doing this, and they still have the algorithm from then. They could probably plug it right back in. Okay, you're talking to somebody that does tech work for a living. It doesn't take a whole lot to reprogram something. They could probably do this over a weekend and be done with it. And then in another year, they could just slide the new ones back in where they restrict the speech again. It doesn't, you see, you can't win when you're talking about the federal government trying to investigate high tech. The government's going to lose every time. The best and brightest don't work for the United States government. They work for private industry. Why? Because private industry pays better. They can hire the best and the brightest. So to even act like there's going to be some kind of investigation into these tech companies that's going to be meaningful in any way, it's crap. He just can't even do it. They don't have anybody qualified. So, you know, they try to give these anecdotal examples, and it's just ridiculous. Around 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Trump deleted the original tweets and reposted practically identical language. He put this out. When users type queries into the Google search bar, our goal, oh no, that's not him. That's the Google spokesman. Damn it, Seymour. Okay.
More steakums for me again. Woohoo.
Another box for Rick. So the Google spokesman said in a statement, when users type queries into the Google search bar, our goal is to make sure they receive the most relevant answers in a matter of seconds. Search is not used to set a political agenda, and we don't bias our results towards any political ideology. Every year we issue hundreds of improvements to our algorithms to ensure they surface high-quality content in response to users' queries. We continually work to improve Google search, and we never rank search results to manipulate political sentiment. Now, you can believe that. You can not believe that. It's certainly up to you. I don't know how anybody would be qualified to sit here and say one way or the other definitively that they do or don't. They issue hundreds of improvements to algorithms every year. I mean, if you knew how easy it was to drop a new algorithm that could cover the tracks of any kind of manipulation or, as the president alleges, rigging, any kind of investigation would be rendered moot. It would never stick. There would be nothing to find. It would be a waste of time and money. I think, and not that he'll ever do this, I think the best move for the president would be to ignore this kind of garbage and deal with the real issues at hand. You know, let's get immigration reform done. Let's get it done the right way, not the way that the left wants it done, which is open borders. Let's get real immigration reform done. You know, let's secure our borders. Let's keep pounding on the economy. If we can get to 4.5% GDP, why can't we get to 5%? You know, let's concentrate on the important things and let these things slide. If the American people want to go on a search engine, Google's not the only one out there. There are dozens of search engines out there. You can experiment. You can do a search for search engines. Google will show you who their competition is. There used to be one, I don't even know if they're still around anymore. I used to love the web crawler search engine. One of the best search engines ever. But they kind of faded away. Like I said, I don't know if they're still around. They may be. But it's just, you know, it's ridiculous that he's worried about something like this when you can't hide. You know, the media can try to hide all they want 4.5% GDP. But there's always going to be some outlets that actually throw balls and strikes. And they call the good and they call the bad. And when you have 4.5% GDP, it's going to get published. and it's going to get touted, and it's going to get put out there, and people are going to go, why isn't CNN talking about that? People are going to say, why isn't MSNBC talking about the economy? The reason is because they're biased. And people get tired of the bias, regardless of which way it goes. It really doesn't matter. It's why I dumped a lot of watching Fox News. I used to watch Fox News when I was younger. I'll sit here and tell you that. I did. Okay, but I realized that I need to get more than one source. I need to see what the other side is saying too. I need to see what one side is saying. I need to see what another side is saying. I need to see what another side is saying. Okay? So I'm looking for a right-leaning story. I'm looking for the same story in a left-leaning news outlet. And then I'm looking for an independent outlet, preferably from outside looking in, that has no vested interest one way or the other, to see how they present it. And then I make up my own mind once I think that I have all the facts. Now, Google's parent company, Alphabet, is the key driver of the NASDAQ's performance, which, by the way, went over 8,000 for the first time on Monday ever. Talking about the booming economy. Later Tuesday, Larry Kudlow, Trump's economic advisor, told Bloomberg that the White House is looking into whether Google suppresses positive articles about the president. Kudlow did not provide details on how the White House was looking into the matter, and I'll tell you why, because Kudlow doesn't have a clue how to look into the matter. Now, some reports have suggested the president was referring to an unscientific report by a conservative news site called PJ Media, which claimed that 96% of Google search results for the word Trump showed left-leaning publications. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. The report places outlets including CNN, The Washington Post, and The Guardian on the left of the political spectrum. That is not inaccurate, while placing the likes of Fox News, the New York Post, and the Daily Mail on the right. Also, not inaccurate. Now, Trump's comments, though, couldn't be more timely, as next week Google, Facebook, and Twitter representatives are scheduled to appear before Congress to testify in regards to censorship and election meddling. And I'm going to strangle a cat. Down. Okay, so the hearings mark the second time representatives from all the companies will be on Capitol Hill to address concerns of election interference. For Facebook, it will be the third following Zuckerberg's grilling earlier this year over the Cambridge Analytica scandal. Twitter chief executive Jack Dorsey and Facebook's COO Sheryl Sandberg are among those confirmed to be attending the hearings. You can rest assured that Dorsey will be lying his ass off, because that's all we ever get from Twitter anyway, is lies. But again, can't really do anything about it. It's a private company. You can't prove monopolyship with these social media companies, because there's proof that there are more popping up all the time. It's not anybody else's fault. You're not forced to pay money. It's a free site. You can leave it if you want to leave it. It's just one of those things. It got popular. It is what it is. MySpace got popular too. Look where it ended up. I expect the same thing in time will happen with Facebook and Twitter. There will be something else to come along to knock them down. Now, Facebook and Twitter have suspended hundreds of accounts ahead of the November midterm elections to avoid interference from foreign actors. Facebook last week said it had removed 652 pages, groups, and accounts linked to Iran over coordinated inauthentic behavior, targeting people in the U.S., the U.K., Latin America, and the Middle East. As of Tuesday, Twitter said they had removed 770 accounts over quote-unquote coordinated manipulation ahead of the midterms. Well, that could be anything. Hell, that could be my account. Just for simply saying what I say here. Now, Trump's comments as a whole appear to represent a broader view among conservative circles that digital platforms are censoring them. And you know what? Maybe they are. But again, these are private companies. They have rules. We may not like how they apply the rules, but they're not forcing us to be here either. Like it, don't like it. That's how it is. Now, the so-called practice, he calls it, he calls this practice discriminatory and illegal, which it is discriminatory, but illegal is a whole nother story. Unless you start getting into having these companies declared public utilities, which I am not in favor of. Let me make that very clear. The government should not be involved in these companies. Earlier this month, multiple tech companies, including Apple, Facebook, Google's YouTube, Pinterest, and Spotify, clamped down on content by the right-wing conspiracy theorist and tinfoil hat-wearing Alex Jones, removing his podcasts, pages, and other content. Tech companies said they removed Jones for violating policies related to hate speech and harassment. Apple does not tolerate hate speech, and we have clear guidelines that creators and developers must follow to ensure we provide a safe environment for all our users, Apple said at the time. Now, the same right-wing commentators have criticized the mass takedown of Jones, or not the same, some right-wing commentators have criticized the mass takedown of Jones's content, saying it amounted to censorship. Well, if he violates the rules, he violates the rules. The rules are to be interpreted by the maker of the rules, obviously. So it is what it is. And Rick, can I steal 1 or 2 more minutes?
You got one, sir.
All right, real quick. Federal Appeals Court on Tuesday said printing "In God We Trust" on U.S. currency is constitutional, citing its longstanding use and saying it is not coercive. The 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in St. Paul, Minnesota rejected claims by 29 atheists, children of atheists, and atheist groups that inscribing the national motto on our currency violated their First Amendment free speech and religious rights. So, stuff that in your hat, and that is a cap on tonight's show. Folks, it's been great being here with you. We're going to be back with you next Wednesday. If you like the show, tell your friends. If your friends like the show, you need new ones, but they and you are welcome right here with me every week for another Conservative Curmudgeon show. Thank you and God bless.
Never back down from a challenge or a fight. Nature provides, God gives the rights. We're Americans.
I hate this place. Nothing works here. The medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years.